Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell the truth about silver. Today is Wednesday, the 5th of January 2022, and we're producing our regular morning update, providing prices, news and economic data. Today's news is threatening, with France's president taking a tough stance against those not vaccinated against COVID. However, we also see some positive news in that gold and silver have risen today. So let's take a look. Welcome to Illuminati Silver. It's Wednesday, the 5th of January 2022 at 10:07 in the morning. The news today is threatening. Yes, threatening because France's Macron says he wants to pee off the unvaccinated. We'll have a look at that. It's also threatening because, according to the headlines, the UK is being consumed by Brexit more than COVID. Yes, the Remainers are coming out again, arguing against the Brexit case, though it has now long been settled. But what's not so threatening is that French consumer confidence has hit its highest level since September. So what is French President Macron up to? Well, French President Emmanuel Macron took Europe's aggressive stance against the unvaccinated up a notch, saying he wants to pee off people who don't get their COVID shot. We will continue to do this to the end. This is the strategy, he said in an interview with newspaper Le Parisien. He added that means limiting as much as possible their access to activities in social life. Targeted measures are already in action in a number of countries, where those who aren't vaccinated are restricted when it comes to accessing bars, restaurants and other day-to-day activities. The drive to get more people inoculated has stepped up since the emergence of the Omicron variant, which has sent cases surging at record rates across Europe. But dividing the population between the vaccinated and unvaccinated has proved controversial, and there have been numerous protests against the policy and moves in some countries to make shots mandatory. Well, we can see where they are heading. Bad news. London and New York. Finance hubs are becoming obsolete. The need for people to gather in the same place to swap information and securities is fast disappearing. Stand on the steps of the Royal Exchange in the heart of the City of London and you can picture the churn of people 200 years ago, or more, in what was becoming the world's preeminent financial hub. Stock jobbers, traders and financiers would stream between its great limestone columns with the Bank of England to one side and all surrounded by offices of bankers or trading houses and alleyways to the ever-busy coffee shops. The exchange was where transactions happened, but the coffee shops played an equally important role in the lifeblood of markets as information centres. People hung out there for refreshment and gossip, but also all the details of supply and demand. The coffee men vied with each other in maintaining the supply of a wide variety of domestic and foreign newspapers, news sheets, journals and bulletins, customs entry forms, auction notices, price current lists, etc. Today, London's future as a global financial hub is under threat. In the popular discourse that's largely due to Britain's exit from the European Union and the ongoing fights over trade and regulations. But Brexit is barely half the story, and New York faces similar threats. While JP Morgan Chase & Co. is expanding its Paris office with new trading floors, Goldman Sachs is doing the same in Miami and has been hunting for space in Dallas. What links these moves is the ways technology and regulations have dramatically changed the flow of information in just the past couple of decades. The COVID pandemic showed just how little physical location now matters for many jobs and businesses in finance, and gave executives confidence that more operations could be managed remotely. And this indeed could be a sign of things to come. Business news. In the UK, travel firms call for removal of COVID testing. With case rates of the Omicron variant so high, airlines say testing passengers is having no real impact. And we also find that Japan's Toyota outsold General Motors, which has now removed GM's 90-year reign as the top US car seller. Not good news for the American car industry. United States, bit about Trump and a US teacher arrested for vaccinating students, and US reports million COVID cases with peak still to come. Very little talking about business on their front page of the BBC. But we'll look at business. Dollar index down slightly, but still holding above the 96 level at 96.12. Energy prices little changed, with Brent crude just shy of $80 and WTI crude just shy of 77. Equity markets in the US yesterday, the Dow was up 0.5%, but the S&P and Nasdaq were down, with the Nasdaq taking the biggest hit, being down 1.3%. Asia Pacific overnight, the Nikkei and Topix index were up marginally. Hang Seng took a hit, down 1.64%, and the CSI 300 index down 1%. This morning, European and UK markets broadly in positive territory, up to 0.5% higher. Now, yesterday, we had some economic news coming out of the United States. The ISM manufacturing index at 58.7% was down compared to expectations of 60% and lower than 61.1% in November. Job openings were also lower at 10.6 million, and job quits were higher. This is, from an economic point of view, disappointing news, and some analysts will read into this news that perhaps with the market manufacturing PMI also being lower in December than November, the Fed will be less aggressive on rates. But let's see what happens with today's ADP employment report and the services PMIs. We've often seen that the manufacturing has been down, but services have risen, and sometimes, but rarely, vice versa. But of course, we then have factory orders tomorrow, and Friday, the all-important non-farm payrolls. Now, yesterday morning, we saw that gold and silver were down. Slightly different today. They're actually back up. And we have gold now at $1,819, up nearly $13 on the day. If we compare that to the close at the end of the year, though, gold is still down $10 since reopening in 2022. Silver is also up at $23.09. But again, if we compare that with the end of year close, we can see that silver is down some 23 cents or 23 cents. At least it's holding above $23. So far, cryptocurrency markets have also risen this morning, and we have the market cap up 1% at 2.25 trillion. And Bitcoin standing at $46,864. That's it for now. That's the daily roundup. Frankly, we're waiting really for the employment reports to see which direction the dollar and then precious metals are going to move into. We normally see positive reactions to precious metals at the start of the year. We haven't really seen that so far. But there's still yet time. Thank you for listening. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, press the bell sign. Until tomorrow. Illuminati silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.